What's the last thing you do before your head hits the pillow at night? I can't control you or how you choose to live your life, but I know right before bed each night, I pray to the chess gods. Hey, chess gods, take my horse here to sacrifice. Actually, don't take him from me. Give him back, I'm sorry. Please. Please. My next over the board battle. If you could in your busy schedule, just orchestrate the following. I want to be sitting across from an enemy rated between 1600 and 1800 USDF. And one more thing, not to be picky. Yeah, you're in control. You're in control. Yeah, I get it. I'm gonna need the white pieces. We go to bed. Yeah. They gave me even more than I wished for. Last evening, in round one of April Knights, located in St. Louis, Missouri, I got paired against an enemy rated 1804. And you guessed it, I got the white pieces. Now, I'm a little bit tired, but more so, I'm saving all my energy for round two of April Knights, which is tomorrow, or I guess this morning. So this evening, they're doing it differently because of the candidates tournament, I assume. So I'm just going to press play, but I'm always prepared with excessive chess notation. Here's how it went down. You know my library's good. My library's organized, my library's good. A lot of learning in here. This library should be a product on Amazon. It's that beneficial. And my notation sheets are even better, at least for beginners. Not that experienced. Here we go. Check this out. White pieces. Nothing earth-shattering. Just enjoy some chess. A little too fast. Let's slow it down. And this is all I really know how to do. Well, the only thing I've studied a little bit when I get this. D4, knight f6. I studied a few lines after c4 is played. So that's why I play it. I know I said I'm not going to talk. I like chess a lot. And of course, in the opening, there's a lot of options. But against this enemy, which again, 1804, I'm probably not going to fool him with something clever. So just play something that's pretty straightforward and don't burn too much clock. Okay, quickly. Good. And here's good. This is a good move. It's a good move. Good move right here. You know, I go 5 deep. Those who follow, especially in the open, I feel like, well, 5 is the max, first of all. Yeah. So chess.com. But in the open, a lot of times there's 5 good moves, and sometimes even the middle game. And now here, the reason I didn't take, and I certainly considered it, which I think it's the second best mover type, or second best, is yeah, sure, after takes, I can win something, right? But this is getting pretty deep. It's getting real deep. Okay, of course, my knight's there unprotected, but also there was even some things where I forgot how it happened, but the bishop ended up coming, and I forget the variation, but I needed my queen to be protecting my bishop, and somehow they got broken up. It was just, I mean, it's not a bad move to take that pawn, but it was risking getting complicated. And again, enemies of higher rating, usually it would not be to my benefit to complicate things. So I play the best move, like I often do. And here, this isn't that impressive. I mean, it's a pawn push, but that's the biggest difference between me and what I plan to be by the end of this year, which is about this level player, 1800-ish, is early pawn moves and pawn moves in general. A lot of times I make the right one, but not as consistently as I'd like. And I definitely wait too long. I mean, he was ready to go with this. And I understand why, it's fine, but pawns are a pain in the neck because you can never take them back. Okay, my king saved. This is the opening I need to play. Now, I sometimes don't know what to do with my bishops early on. I mean, they're fine, but I mean, like both knights you'll see in this game are going to be able to target my bishops. So I just have to move them back. It's not terrible. But like I wanted to get my bishop here, and that way, if that knight wants to go there, then you can double your pawns. But of course, that's why, speaking of using our pawns effectively and early, h3 probably would have been a good move at some point to prevent that knight from getting there. And now, here's where the bishop pair is fabulous. And I mean, to a robot or a good player, like this is definitely, I mean, for a while it's been pretty close to equal. But especially before a few mistakes there, a lot of humans at my level now, again, 1800 is a pretty good chess player. But 1800 a little bit lower. It's not an exposed king, but it could become vulnerable pretty quickly because your pawns are advancing. And some of my upsets have been in that instance where enemy has a good attack, good pawn pushes, and just fails to coordinate correctly and ends up not having a lot of defense around the king. So I point this game is going well for me. And the evaluation didn't always show it, but it's the type of situation where if I am going to be a much stronger player, it has that kind of vibe. Now this is important. One move idea is bad. And it's a longer time control, 60 plus 6, so I shouldn't be doing stuff like this. So yeah, okay, my queen slid. I have double pressure on this h6 pawn, but the queen would like to go there anyway. So, I mean, there or there, I just wasted a move, is all I did. And then that's another situation where that knight move, I didn't know why I was making it, which is not good. I mean, my logic was, yeah, my queen can now see this pawn, but this pawn has been a pain in my neck the whole game, which is why earlier I probably should have went bishop c2. I'll take you back to that real quick, and then I'll play through it. Sorry, I always say I'm not going to talk, and I like chess, so I talk. Okay, so now, okay. I mean, there's a few options. I'm trying to preserve my bishop here, right? And that's not a problem. But from my understanding, which is what happened in the game, that pawn's going to come. And it's not terrible. This pawn can take, this pawn can take, but I have a little extra support. Also, another little thing, which I'm getting to the point where little things are a very big deal. I mean, I'm not a bad, intermediate chess player where improvement's just like easy. When you're starting something new, when I started chess, you make a lot of improvements because you never played before. You're not any good. But here, for example, why would I do that? Why would I do that? I gotta get comfortable with things that don't look familiar to me, and understanding why, because knight h3 not only keeps my bishop a little more active, like that pawn's right in my way, that knight would then support my pawns pushing on the f file, which they want to anyway. My pawns want to push on the f file because there is no real danger, even in the long term, if these pawns push, or this pawn pushes. And that's kind of the difference in this game. The enemy pushed his pawns at the appropriate times, and I was hesitant to do the same. And recognizing those two horses are just going to be way more valuable than my bishop pair, because this pawn's going to struggle to get that horse I was looking at that for a while, but that's not going to be any good because my horse got to clear and then my bishop is there, and then it ain't none good, it's so bad. Okay, and here. Now, I don't completely understand why that wasn't great. Aside from, again, getting these pawns out and not letting enemies suffocate me. I don't know if it was a terrible move in and of itself. Now, what I didn't consider, I saw that pawn push, but what I didn't consider is if you keep pushing, I really have to retreat further because I got to be careful with this pawn, which protects my king. So that's probably what it wanted me to do. Plan for that. Okay. And another one move situation, which I always say at my level, both players are going to make at least one pretty obvious mistake. The key is to recognize your opponent's mistake or two, and then try not to make ideally one, but more than one yourself. And I did another one move tactic or one move idea. That does no good. And enemy, I would say that's another example. That's a really, really poor move for an 800 level player, though he played fine overall. And another example, which is my key mistake. Enemy at least has to earn this, and I'm fighting with chances for a win here. If Queen D1, right? Because if Queen D1, now you see that's not even on the list anymore because you just lose stuff, right? So Queen D1 would have not only gave much needed extra defender on the F3 square, but I'm also maintaining pressure here, and I have some places to go. But live and learn. And now the only move to survive is that, because of course if anything else, you know, I can't do anything because the enemy can take my knight and then I can't take back because of mate in one. So the good thing is which is part of why I left my queen there, is because if that breaks, you can't sacrifice anything because now my queen would cover. But that was my chess battle. We'll play it real quick without me stopping, in case you're newer to chess and didn't follow any of that. Great to get the chance to play enemies that are definitely, there's no question, much better, more experienced. I'm sure the kid's been playing plenty longer than me, and he's done well at several tournaments I've seen him at. But that's how you get better. Yeah, it's painful right there. It's painful. See, and that's good. I mean, I know I have to take with that. I can't take with my queen again for the same reasons. And now, I mean, I had a decision to make. Of course, the best move, which I saw, is bad, and then just accept the loss there. But I chose, I mean, I was already screwed. So let's see if we can just make him do something dumb. He was fairly low on time, so not low enough to matter substantially, and get him in some type of draw by repetition or trick him in some way. That was more of the board chess game. Again, playing round 2 tomorrow. Go play some chess yourself. Hope you learned something, or at least became a little more interested in chess.